What if one narrow waterway could shake the entire global economy overnight? Right now, the world is watching a dangerous escalation centered around one critical location, the Strait of Hormuz. A place so important that nearly 20% of the world's oil supply passes through it every single day. And now, it's becoming the center of a major geopolitical confrontation. Recent statements claim that Iran had previously assured the international community that the Strait of Hormuz would remain open and secure. But according to U.S. leadership, that promise was knowingly broken. The result? Global anxiety, disrupted trade routes, and rising tensions affecting countries across the world. Iran has reportedly suggested that naval mines may be present in the waters, creating uncertainty and fear for commercial shipping. What makes this even more surprising is that Iran's naval capabilities have already suffered significant damage in recent conflicts. Yet despite that, the threat alone has been enough to disrupt one of the most vital shipping lanes on Earth. Diplomatic talks were held in an attempt to de-escalate the situation. Some progress was made on secondary issues. But the one issue that truly matters, Iran's nuclear ambitions, remains unresolved. And that has pushed the situation to a breaking point. In a decisive move, the U.S. president announced immediate action. The United States Navy, widely regarded as the most powerful naval force in the world, has begun preparations to block and control all ship traffic entering or exiting the Strait of Hormuz. This is not a symbolic move. This is a direct intervention. For now, access to the strait will be tightly controlled until stability is restored. Iran's strategy appears to rely heavily on uncertainty. By suggesting that mines may exist without revealing their locations, they create a climate of fear. That fear alone is enough to reroute ships and disrupt global supply chains. U.S. officials have labeled this tactic as nothing short of global extortion. And they've made it clear, the United States will not be pressured or manipulated in this way. The U.S. Navy has also been instructed to monitor international waters for vessels that may have paid unauthorized tolls to Iran. Any ship involved in such activity could face consequences. At the same time, operations are being launched to detect and remove any naval mines in the region. And there's a clear warning, any hostile action against U.S. forces or civilian vessels will be met with overwhelming force. According to U.S. claims, Iran's military infrastructure has already been severely weakened. Its Navy, Air Force, and air defense systems are no longer operating at full strength. Much of this damage is believed to be tied to ongoing tensions surrounding its nuclear program. Now, the country finds itself in an increasingly fragile position. This is no longer just a conflict between two nations. The Strait of Hormuz is a global lifeline. Countries across Asia, Europe, and beyond depend heavily on the energy that flows through this route. Any disruption here sends shockwaves across global markets. For decades, Iran has used its geographic position as leverage. The Strait of Hormuz has always been a strategic pressure point. But this time, analysts say the U.S. has directly challenged that leverage. Instead of reacting cautiously, it has taken a firm and proactive stance. Some experts believe this could force other nations, especially those dependent on oil imports, to step in and support efforts to keep the strait open. Under international law, no country has the right to control or restrict access to a major global shipping route like the Strait of Hormuz. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea clearly prohibits such actions. However, attempts to enforce these rules have faced resistance on the global stage. Recent efforts to address the situation diplomatically were blocked, highlighting deep divisions among major world powers. One of the biggest stakeholders in this situation is China. A significant portion of the oil passing through the Strait of Hormuz is destined for Asian markets, particularly China. This means the consequences of this crisis extend far beyond the Middle East. It's now a matter of global economic stability. The US has already deployed naval destroyers into the region. Their mission? To begin clearing potential mines and ensure safe passage for commercial vessels. This isn't an improvised plan. Military experts say operations like this have been studied and prepared for over decades. For years, leaders around the world have recognized the risks surrounding the Strait of Hormuz. But most avoided direct confrontation. Now, that approach appears to have changed. This moment could redefine how global powers respond to threats against critical infrastructure. The situation remains highly volatile. What happens next could impact not just regional stability, but the entire global economy. Will this lead to resolution or escalation? Only time will tell. What do you think about this situation? Is this a necessary move or a risky escalation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more updates on global events like this, make sure to subscribe and stay informed. Now, to truly understand the gravity of this situation, we need to look beyond the headlines. The Strait of Hormuz is not just another shipping route. It is one of the most strategically important choke points in the entire world. Every single day, millions of barrels of oil pass through this narrow stretch of water. Any disruption here doesn't just affect one country, it impacts global fuel prices, transportation, and even the cost of everyday goods. Think about this for a moment. If oil supply is restricted, prices go up. When oil prices rise, everything becomes more expensive, from gasoline to food to manufacturing. This means that even people sitting thousands of miles away, in completely different countries, feel the impact. That's how powerful this single location is. Geographically, the Strait of Hormuz is extremely narrow. At certain points, it is only about 20 to 30 miles wide. That means ships have very limited space to maneuver. And that also makes it incredibly easy to control or disrupt. This is why it has always been considered a strategic pressure point in global politics. This is not the first time tensions have risen in this region. For decades, there have been repeated threats to close or disrupt the strait. Each time, it has caused concern across the world. But most of the time, those threats never turned into direct action. This time, however, the situation appears much more serious. Many countries, especially in Asia, rely heavily on oil passing through this route. Nations like China, India, Japan, and South Korea depend on this supply to keep their economies running. If this flow is interrupted, it could slow down entire industries. Factories, transportation systems, and even electricity production could be affected. From a military and that also makes it incredibly easy to control or disrupt. This is why it has always been considered a strategic pressure point in global politics. This is not the first time tensions have risen in this region. For decades, there have been repeated threats to close or disrupt the strait. Each time, it has caused concern across the world. But most of the time, those threats never turned into direct action. This time, however, the situation appears much more serious. Many countries, especially in Asia, rely heavily on oil passing through this route. Nations like China, India, Japan, and South Korea depend on this supply to keep their economies running. If this flow is interrupted, it could slow down entire industries. Factories, transportation systems, and even electricity production could be affected. From a military standpoint, this is not a simple operation.